Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here with Tommy from Plinx. Tommy, we are here inside the Lynch depot, brand new depot here at Birmingham for a large project just down the road, but also we're here for the launch of this very nice looking blue box. But this is not any ordinary blue box, as they say, Tommy. This is all about MachineSense.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about what we are talking about today.
Okay, so MachineSense is a retrofittable sensor, so you can attach it to any type of machine, and it gives construction companies a view of what their machinery is doing whilst it's on site. So it can fit, as I said, you can fit it to any machine. It fits in about 15 minutes, and we're understanding the type of activities the machines are doing on site, and we're able to link that back to the project plan, exactly what's happening on site.
But it's not just about the blue box there, Tommy. We've also got some more blue on the machine here.
Absolutely.
This is quite interesting because this is not just a camera on there, but it's also an indicator when I'm sat inside the machine for the operator. What is happening there and why are the two linking together? Okay,
so this is the operator interface. So this, as you've said, gives some feedback to the operator in real time about whatever it is that they're doing to try and boost performance, whether that be safety, efficiency, sustainability or compliance. So behind the black part of the operator interface is a ring of LEDs, and we offer the operator 4 colours. Red if they enter into a zone where they're not authorised, amber if they're speeding, blue if they're idling, and then green if everything's okay. So what we're doing is every time an event is being created, we're giving them that feedback, and the MachineSense is communicating that to our platform. But at the same time, we're capturing a short video clip, which enables us to understand the situation that led to that event, but also it gives evidence to the construction company as to maybe how they should implement changes on their site to boost that performance. So we're all about delivering change as a result of the information that's being captured.
And the thing about this, folks, is the camera is facing forward. It's not facing to the operator. So it's seeing the boom and the stick doing in this context, but also can fit it on numerous other machines, ADTs, etc. And it's showing us what is actually happening at that moment. So if we're speeding, you know, and we've got the regulations that say on site we've got to be at certain speeds, then actually we can say, why is that happening? Equally, if we're actually having to speed up to get up a hill, for example, then actually that might be something that is required, isn't it? So it's about then learning about what's going on site. So that is all about how we get a digitalized tool, but the software and everything else that goes around it that sends information from the GPS network, isn't it?
Yeah, so one of the advantages we have is that we already know what the scenario is, the event that's happened on site. And this is about giving context which enables change. You know? So it may, as you said, we might need to put more signs up, or we may need to put barriers up, or you know, may evidence the lack of feedback to the operator and therefore who may be at fault. And so it's really about understanding what's happening on site. Another example may be idling. An operator may be idling, they may not be aware of that they're idling. We give them the feedback in the first instance, but also we may want to learn what's causing the idling. Maybe a traffic jam. Maybe they're doing an operation like suspending a load where they need to have the engine running. And they need to have revs. So it's all those factors that help to improve to improve site performance.
Yes, because when you're idling and you're stood and you're not necessarily working as that's the context that you've just given us there, that's actually positive idling time.
Absolutely.
Because you know the machine is doing a job. So it is actually saying, well, what are the positives and the negatives on that, so that actually we can know that that is good.
Absolutely.
And so when you talk about sort of the traffic jams and things like that on site, when we've got big projects, a prime mover can't cope in, say, the pouring rain we've had this morning, that is again saying, how should we change the way we're working at that moment? Because this is coming in straight away, isn't it? This is not a report you're seeing next week.
Absolutely, and that's some of the feedback that our customers have given us, is that actually being able to proactively adapt site based on the conditions, based on the known state of site, which is in real time, compared to you know, some of the idling data is, you know, maybe a week or a month out of date. How can you ask an operator how to improve their idling when it's very difficult to remember what was going on back then. So this is delivering really good quality information that helps to actually make a difference on site.
And it's learning, folks. Your team at Plinx have been doing a lot of learning, because a lot of the motions and the things like that, you're getting this data from, because this is not going directly into the canvas like everybody else, isn't it? So you've had to say, well, what do we get information-wise from this system that allows us to match that to a task?
Yeah.
And so that's the clever bit with the sensors and the motion of the machine, isn't it? And that tells you this information without having to hardwire this in.
So the big problem that we're overcoming is we need to be able to attach this to anything.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you need to create a profile about how that specific type of machine operates. And by doing that, what this means, you can attach this to any machine on site. So the contractor can take back control of their operations, because they can say, well, I can attach it to any plant hires equipment. I can attach it if it's only on site, a specialist bit of equipment that's only on site for a week. It can work. It provides the same quality data regardless of the manufacturer, because all excavators within reason operate within the same boundaries.
The most important thing, though, folks, is the data and how we're getting that information, because it's not going into the canvas like we've mentioned. What happens and how do you get this information? How do you know that I'm digging on this excavator rather than just tracking, for example?
Yeah, so it's a really important point is that we're able to capture information from any machine, regardless of the OEM or the owner of the machine. For special purpose vehicles that are only on site for a short period of time, we need to be able to capture the same level, quality of information from them. So we can't rely on the information from the CAN, because that's too difficult to get hold of. We also use the location data, so we use the GNSS network to look at the motion, how it's moving around site. That's a broad brush point. And then we also use the motion data. So not vibration, but how the machine is moving, swinging. We also use acceleration as well. And we can do that in multiple axes. So actually, you put this on top, and it's like a digital time and motion system. It's using its internal sensors to figure out what's going on. And then we need to rely on that throttle response value as well, because that gives us an idea of how hard the machine is working. So when we combine all that data together, we've got a really good idea of what's happening on the machine. Good enough to make decisions on, and that's really important. Also, the camera gives us that extra level of feedback. So if you had a scenario which you weren't able to understand from any other way, you'd be able to delve into the data and look at the video clip. And that's
giving you layers of information.
Correct.
And therefore allowing you to put this on and off machines at any point in time. We've understood that, but there is a need for electricity, isn't there, to power this? So how does that actually happen to allow us to actually put this on and off a machine?
It depends on how flexible you need to be. So if we're talking about installing something for a week or 2 weeks, you can use a cigarette lighter port or a hella socket. So you can be up and away in a few seconds. But we prefer to wire into the machine. And this is just 3 wires, very simple installation, doesn't invalidate any warranties. And that gives us a really robust connection to the machine. It prevents anyone from undoing the socket, for example. That from that point on, it's plug and play. So there's an Ethernet port, as you can see on the end of here. And that plugs straight into what's called the UPA, which is hardwired into the machine. We'll stick a Plinx ready sticker on the side of the machine, so you know it's ready to go. And then 15 minutes and you're away and ready to go. So for most machines, before the work starts in the morning, you'd be able to get one of these on. When that happens, this machine is automatically allocated to that site.
I was going to say.
And then a level beneath that is we can also allocate it to a task. So we can add further granularity to work plans, to logbooks, about really understanding how these machines are being used on site.
So we've got a lot of data then coming in, but it's only the data that you need to be actioned that's coming in. So you're not going 24/7, lots and lots of data, loads of videos, all sent through the air.
Absolutely.
So you've got the card in there that you'd have in your mobile phone that sends that up into the cloud and the data. Then basically the other thing is, how do I read it?
So we have a platform where you can visualize the information. So you can see it in a map format or a dashboard format. And everything that we create is in a list basis, so that you can treat it like an if this then that, so you can see a certain number of scenarios and you can understand how you may want to action that data. But the same information is available on our API, so if you want to bring it into your own platform, if you want to bring it into a third-party platform like MachineMax, or if you want to visualize it in a Power BI dashboard, where if you want that further level of either accessibility within your organization, or if you want customization, you want to see it in a different way, you want to highlight key areas, you can do that within Power BI. You made another point I'm just going to go back to about connectivity. So this does use cellular connectivity as its backbone, as in the main method of communication to the internet. But we also have a proprietary network solution. So if you're working in a remote area, large portions of HS2 are connected already with our network, which this would be able to connect to. And we also have an in-tunnel version. So even within areas where there is no connectivity, no existing connectivity, we can provide connectivity to. So it's a very flexible solution. We're working on big infrastructure projects that need that kind of level of flexibility to be able to cover the whole area.
So folks, we've got it covered as such. We've got the connectivity there, we've got the sensors there, it's simple to plug and play, the data's there to actually make real-time choices, support for the operator, support for learning with the actual camera solution and the clips, and it's all about plug and play, simple to get onto the machines, so that as we're working on these big infrastructure projects, things are coming into depots. Lynch has decided to hardwire all of their machines, they're going to be using this, but that's coming in. It's a matter of just going through the PDI sort of process, and then they're ready to go. And then that assignment to this machine enables you to really focus deep down into the individual tasks and activities that are happening over, and get a sense of what the machines are doing. Absolutely. And that's why it's called MachineSense, folks. Great to see you. Cheers.
Thanks very much. Cheers.